Welcome to another episode of Core NFL Recaps. My name's Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
Vitamin J.
And Hunter.
Someone's feeling good today.
Oh, and you get on me for my introductions. Okay.
Change it up every now and then. We're here to recap NFL Week 9, baby. We're going to start off. We're going to talk about one guy who's got his hat on, ready to go. We're going to talk about the Thursday night game. The Eagles beating the Texans, remaining undefeated, 8-0 in a 29-17 battle. Jalen Hurts did Jalen Hurts things.
I would say after the games Josh Allen had and Patrick Mahomes, Mahomes didn't play bad, but Josh Allen did. I would say Jalen Hurts is inching closer and closer to the MVP. I think right now he's actually the betting favorite.
I would say I would say he's probably the favorite right now. Yeah, if I was to.
Yeah.
I
mean, honestly,
man,
with that schedule he has left, like there's no way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Josh
yeah.
Allen.
Call me when they play some real teams.
You got to beat who's in front of
Exactly.
you. So to defend them,
all they remember is if you won the Super Bowl. The Rams, the Super Bowl they won with Kurt Warner, their schedule, their winning percentage is one of the lowest I've ever seen. If you look at the schedule, one of the easiest schedules in NFL history.
See, that's what you come up with after the fact. During the season though, they were playing some gritty teams.
Oh, were they? Okay. Hey, look it up.
So
Tell me
gritty.
which teams they played.
So gritty.
It doesn't matter who you played. All that matters is you win the Super Bowl. No one will ever remember what schedule you played.
that is very true. I mean, you can only beat who's in front of you, and like we've been saying for weeks, if this team goes undefeated, that MVP is his.
The Eagles' defense was a little. The second half they played much better. First half they made it more of a game than it really should have been with the Texans. But the offense was nearly flawless. Besides the Jalen Hurts' fumble, but other than that, he looked cool, calm in the pocket. Pretty much made every third down throw. I really see at this moment with the schedule, I really don't see how they don't get number one seed bearing any injuries.
And the good news for the Texans, you still have the number one pick, so you're good, But it was pretty good. We're moving to our next game and go into our famous kitty corner. It was the Panthers getting dominated by 42-21. Let's go ahead, let the Panthers fans go, Max, and then we can talk a little about the Bengals.
I hope people realize now that PJ Walker is not good and don't fall in the false side for one game.
Oh yeah, many Panthers fans were thinking PJ Walker was the future.
Well, it wasn't just him. Jacob showed me a quote with Dominique Foxworth on ESPN said he would rather have PJ Walker than Joe Burrow for the Panthers game this past Sunday. And there is no basis. There's nothing, no stat, no film you could point to that would ever say pick PJ Walker over Joe Burrow. It's just so dumb that people have that after one game.
The only downside to this abomination of a game was we saw Baker Mayfield back on the field.
And he threw 2 touchdowns.
By far his best performance as a Panther. But again, I mean, the Bengals were pretty much playing prevent defense the whole second half. So I can't really say he looked impressive. He looked better than PJ Walker. Moving on for the Panthers, let's talk about the Bengals. The Bengals just put an absolute butt whooping on the Panthers. Joe Mixon 5 tutties.
But good lord.
Yeah, he had 3 total touchdowns entering this game. Now he exited with 8.
I think this was also one of the games that it's good, like they didn't just win, but they dominated without Jamar Chase. So you kind of think, like, good lord, imagine if Jamar Chase was playing. But I think for the Bengals long term, this is a game that you hope to have of your run game can also give you some help. Because if you can get your run game, you get Jamar Chase back. Now that offense is really scary. Yeah, great job. I think they got 2 more games and a bye.
No, they got a bye week this. They got a bye week this week.
Bye week, and then it's like 1 more game. Is it?
Yeah, then it's like
4 weeks
it's against an easy opponent next week too. I forget who it is.
Yeah.
But.
I know some people say, well, it's the Panthers, but they destroyed them, and that's what they needed to do to kind of show. Last week was just a weird game. It was just a fluke game.
They played Pittsburgh in 2 weeks, so easy.
Go to our next game. We'll just knock all of our teams out. Let's go to my team, the Patriots, with a beatdown on the Colts.
Yeah, to be expected.
We knew this was happening.
No Jonathan Taylor, but still, like I said, I'm just enjoying whatever happens. It was, a Bill Belichick will take advantage of quarterbacks when quarterbacks times. Like
we knew he was going to dominate Sam Ehlinger.
It's not a good day for you. Yeah, young quarterbacks never really do well. The beatdown's so great, it even got Frank Reich fired.
The week before, Jim Irsay said that he was not going to fire him. So, and then before the season, Jim Irsay said that this season was going to be all chips in. Is he a liar? Are you trying to tell me he's a liar?
That would make him
Yes.
a liar.
It's like many billionaires and politicians, Jim Irsay is a liar. So, should be the surprise of no one. Honestly, if I'm Frank Reich, he did you a favor. 'Cause
Right. It's
as bad as he's been, Frank Reich, I don't think, and I'm pretty sure, never wanted to get rid of Carson Wentz.
probably not. No.
That was more of an Irsay decision. Never really, I don't think he really wanted Matt Ryan. That was an Irsay decision. So, like, the Colts, you're starting to see, again, farther you get away from Peyton and Tony Dungy, that Colts franchise, struggling. No Peyton, no Tony, no Andrew Luck. Like,
There's a meddling owner who just can't keep his hands away from franchise decisions.
and then their genius decision is to bring in Jeff Saturday, who's never coached.
He coached high school.
Yeah.
I mean, again, as an interim, whatever. Maybe you're just trying to win something with the fan base of like whatever.
Oh, hey,
We're
this
trying
just
to-
came in recently, Phil. It says, so this is not going to happen. Jim Irsay said, but Chris Ballard will return for 2023.
Next week he's fired.
Yep.
You might want to go
That's
ahead
a
and
bad-
start looking for other
Get your
spots.
resume up to date.
Yeah. If I'm Frank Reich, I'm obviously I think he's still a solid offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Still a good OC. Not a head coach. Not everybody is. That's fine.
Sometimes you're just a better coordinator.
That's cool. There's definitely opportunities out there. So he'll have a job by next year.
See, I wouldn't be surprised if we got another head coaching gig. I mean, if Nathaniel Hackett is going to get a job, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Frank Reich can get another job.
If I'm the Broncos, I start looking at right now and be like, maybe you could turn this offense
I mean,
around.
you probably give Hackett the year just to see what happens.
But yeah, on the bright side, Patriots go 5-4. I mean,
They're still right in that division. I mean, 6-2 is the highest in that division. Every team in there is
Right in the
above
division.
500.
right back in playoff contention. So can't write them off yet. Check might just somehow pull it off and make playoffs.
I thought people told me he was an average coach though. 5-4 with this team, with Mac Jones playing this poorly. That's what people are saying. Without Tom Brady, he's average.
Right now, they are the 8th
Good
seed.
blasphemies.
Honestly, I think my concern has been Mac Jones' regression of like
He
I knew
still
he was
looks
gonna
bad.
Look as good. It's not just the offense; it's some of his decision making right now that's just been like.
I feel like he's
I
got
don't
pretty
care
decent
how offense didn't
weapons.
look, but
Yeah.
when your decision making's bad, it's like, ooh, that's scaring me for the future.
Yeah, he's looked real bad, and like you said, decision making's been awful. Really, the only thing saving them has been the defense. They had 9 sacks this week. My goodness.
They were ready. Going to our next game. This was a must-win game for both these teams. Both of them came in as Super Bowl contenders. The 2 previous Super Bowl champs. It was a close one. It was the Bucs over the Rams. Tom Brady breaking 2 streaks. He's breaking his 3-game losing streak, and also breaking his regular 3-game losing streak, but also breaking the 3-game losing streak to the Rams. So, good job there. Clutch drive.
Can we just talk about what a gift? I feel like the Rams did more to lose that game than the Patriots, but the Bucs did to win it.
Both these teams played ugly. I mean, they're both struggling teams, and they still are struggling. Just happened to be that one of these teams had to win the game.
Pretty much. The Rams line just atrocious because
It
the
is.
Bucs defense I'll at least give the Bucs defense ate up that line. Vita Vea had like a good
Yeah, 2
lord.
sacks.
Look,
2 sacks.
he looked like Reggie White over there coming
He's a
through
big
the
boy.
line. As much as Matt Stafford didn't play well, it might help if he has more than 2 seconds to throw the ball. Other thing, the bright spot for the Bucs was their defense did play well.
Right.
Yes, it was versus the Rams, and that last second drive to win the game. 40 seconds left. Tom Brady looked like that was vintage Brady right there.
I was saying, Cooper Cup just does Cooper Cup things. No matter how bad the Rams suck, Cooper Cup will always get his.
He's the entire offense, and that's why they can't score as many points, because they have nobody else.
Do you think Allen Robinson will help now?
You thought
He's
so?
done.
He's done, yeah. So,
I mean, this season, as we got to think about, this season's so bad that Sean McVay is considering retirement. It sounded like he might be retiring.
Nah, he's a new coach of the Chargers.
oh well, yeah.
Put him with Herbert? Oh, man.
I'm telling you,
He-
why would he not take that job?
He wouldn't have to move very far, would he?
Oh, man, not at all. But that's not a bad choice. But Rams good luck because, again, you don't really have any draft picks. You have no draft
Right.
picks, no capital. You won the Super Bowl, which was important.
Right,
But now
right.
what do you do?
Yep.
Now what do
and
you do
this-
with an aging team and your salary cap is through the roof?
done. Yep. And they play Arizona this coming week, so they lose that game, they'll be dead last in the division. And bearing a miraculous turnaround, their playoff hopes will pretty much be dead.
If you are the Rams and you keep sinking and Sean McVay leaves, do you consider trading Aaron Darnold next season?
He'll retire
to
for the
get
rest.
some-
Yeah, I
he's
don't
gonna
know if you.
retire.
Yeah, because he's been saying he's going to retire for a while. So I don't know if many teams are
Yeah.
going to take him if he's going to retire anyway.
I was gonna say, just try. You're gonna have to trade somebody to try and get picks because you're gonna have
Right.
to be rebuilding. So
No,
I'd say
yeah.
Darnold, probably Ramsey as well. Unfortunately, I would probably have to consider Cooper Kupp at this point. Of like, we have to blow it up.
If McVay's leaving, I'm fire selling the whole team. You have to. I mean, you're not going to get a better coach, and you don't have the, like you say, you don't have the cap space, you don't have the draft picks to really do anything. So the only choice you have is to sell off your rosters. It is what it is. You got your Super Bowl. Just be happy about that. Most teams don't even do that.
Yeah, I mean, you went out. You went out to win that Super Bowl. You won it.
You did it.
And well, this is also a reminder, like, dynasties don't last. Like, I think people thought
Right.
like they don't last as long as we all think they're going to do in the NFL. All right, cool. We're going to go into the next one. I'm going to step away real quick. Go on with the Chargers and the Falcons.
Well-
Chargers, man, they should be better than what they're playing like.
To be fair to the Chargers, they are missing. They have injuries to their top two receivers and then to their top defender, Joey Bosa. But I do agree, Sydney playing better. But to have that many injuries, especially to the top end of your roster, it's going to be hurting. And I think I'm missing some other injury too. I think there's another big injury.
I mean, it's the Chargers. Everybody gets injured on the team.
Right. But I was happy to see the Falcons lose because they didn't need to be 5-4 because we all know they're not that good. We don't need people talking themselves into, hey, are the Falcons going to be a surprise playoff team? No. But this game had the return of Cordero Patterson. He had 2 touchdowns. He looked pretty good coming back. Again, we said last week with Mariota, the only reason he's still starting is because they've been winning games. I mean, only attempting 23 pass attempts. It's like essentially almost a season high. They need to go ahead and make a change, I think, if they're just not going to throw the football. But they seem to just want to run the ball the whole game and just make sure Mariota doesn't have a dumb mistake and maybe possibly make playoffs, which they only will if the Buccaneers continue to stink. But for the Chargers, besides Herbert, I mean, Herbert didn't really have a great game. He really struggled. But other than that, Eckler does what he keeps doing, is scoring touchdowns. He had no one receiving and running.
Falcons do what they do best. They lose a close one.
We're going to move into our next game. It was quite a thrilling game with one quarterback going off, proving his doubters wrong, proving why this team needs to invest in him, and the other quarterback playing well. I go into the Dolphins versus beating the Bears 35-32. Nice shootout. Justin Fields doing
Justin
work,
Fields, man.
doing everything he can to win the game. Told you, give him time. This is why I wanted him to go to the Patriots.
NFL record, rushing yards per game for a quarterback.
Like I said, it's just be nice if the Bears actually, coaching staff actually trust them.
I mean, they're starting to. I mean, they're starting to cater the offense, especially the past 3 or 4 weeks. They've been really doing these run options with him, really starting to make him use his legs more. As he develops as a passer, that's what they needed to do. Kind of like what they did with Lamar Jackson. The Ravens did with Lamar Jackson, utilize his legs, and he'll grow as a passer as well. And he's been doing that. I mean, his yards per throw this week was not good, 4.4 yards, but he's had 3 touchdowns, then 178 rushing yards, and they had a game against the Dolphins. No, everyone thought this would be a blowout. I didn't think the Bears had a chance, and they almost won this game.
Been showing a lot of improvement lately, so I think the Bears have something if they can get him some wide receivers.
That's going to be what this offseason is focused on, I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm. And it was funny because a couple weeks ago, even going into the season, people were talking about he was the worst quarterback out of that quarterback bunch. He was looking like the worst quarterback out of the quarterback bunch, but they learned, give him the ball, give him some open space, let this guy operate. It's beyond me how he dropped because I would have taken him before I took Lance or
Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Can you imagine the Jets with Justin Fields?
Oh my gosh.
What are you talking about? Zach Wilson's like, what, 5-1 this year or something?
Okay.
Yeah. Times where the record is not always
You don't have to-
matching the quarterback play. But on the other side of it, it was Tua having another good game. Still
fantastic
doing
game.
well. He's definitely earning that, keeping that starting spot. But
Yep.
the other person I really want to talk about that we really need to start bringing to MVP conversation, Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. I mean,
Oh my god.
What he's on base to, he needs to be. I know he'll be fourth, but he needs to be in that MVP conversation.
Pretty much him and Jalen Waddle, man, pairing up the NFL, and they're reviving Tua's career. 'Cause a lot of people were pronouncing Tua dead before the season started.
Tyreek's projected for a measly 2,085 yards.
He's over 200 yards ahead of the next closest.
And I don't see this really slowing down much. We thought Cooper Kupp's season was ridiculous. This man's about to outdo that
yeah.
season.
He might not get the touchdowns. He's not going to get 16 touchdowns. It don't look like, because he only has 3 so far. But the yardage and possibly, I don't think the catches either, maybe. But the yardage is definitely in question. And the Dolphins are looking like they're going to be definitely one of the top 3 teams in the AFC right now. I would put them over the Ravens at this current moment, and I would put them. I would put them on par with the Chiefs, I think, just because of the firepower the Dolphins have.
Looking like a threat down the line. We'll go from one AFC team to the other 2 teams in the AFC East. It was the Bills being upset by the Jets.
Well, the biggest story from this one is Josh Allen's elbow okay? Because, I mean, it hurts enough that you lost the game to a team that I think you're clearly better than. But if he is down for the season, I mean, this is supposed to be your year. If he has a torn UCL,
That'd be such a Bills thing to happen to them too. Josh Allen's out. You got Case Keenum as quarterback.
yeah.
I mean,
Basically, he's
I
like
think,
one game in playoff. You know, he's not fully useless.
Yeah, I think again this is a big game for the Jets. Once again, I mean Salah. This Coach of the Year. I mean, I know we want to give it. I know Pete Carroll keeps stamping his mark, and we're saying it later. But honestly, this Jets team's just been just as impressive because with all the question marks we had.
Well, not only that, but they lost their best player, Bruce Hall, and they still find ways to win.
yeah, I didn't think they had a chance in this game. And the fact that they won it, I mean, this defense is absolutely showing out. Sauce Gardner has been a home run pick. Absolutely
He's
changed
got
the
to be
defense
doing
around.
his best work of the year.
Mm-hmm. And Robert Salah was a good defensive coordinator, so he brought that from San Fran. So they've been good. The only thing that's going to hold him back, again, is Zach Wilson. And to his credit, for this game, he was turnover-free, I believe. He didn't have a pick, and he did lose a fumble. So, but mostly he was game managing. He didn't try to do too much. And that's the way they're going to win games, is him just not being Zach Wilson pretty much. They're going to try to make him as much Alex Smith or so as they can, because that's what this team needs. Because if Zach Wilson tries to do what he likes to do, it's just not going to work out for this team. I don't care if he is 5-1.
This team has a bright future. Yeah, the only problem is their quarterback spot is.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to need to get somebody. I mean, if I'm them, I'm definitely considering my options of what else is out there.
They're going to convince themselves. If let's just say he ends up with a, 8-3 record. I don't know how many games, whatever it is left, but if he's 8-3, they're going to convince themselves, even though he really didn't have much to do with it. They're like, oh no, that's there. They're going to fool themselves with a win-loss record. Bill Belichick will be like, thank you, please bring Zach Wilson back. He plays him again this week. We'll see what he does.
Please, as long as he's there, I have a shot. So that AFC East looking very competitive right now.
Oh yeah.
Let's go into the next game. I mean, this team, they came in, they brought this guy back with a big contract, and I think they thought they could still win this division, but the teams they're dominating, they're just not dominating right now. It was the Packers losing to the Lions. I mean, I don't know what else you can say about this team.
Yeah, Packers are done.
Absolutely pathetic performance. Aaron Rodgers has 7 picks on the year. I believe he's on pace for, of course, his first 10-plus interception season since back in the Stone Ages.
As an MX, he finally has thrown 100 interceptions in his career.
Oof.
This was the game that was supposed to get the Packers back on track, because this is Detroit. They were 1-6, had one of the worst defenses in the league, and they made the Packers offense came into town, and they made the Lions defense look like the 2000 Ravens. They get absolutely shut down. 2 interceptions in the goal line, which Rodgers never does. This is bad news for the Packers.
And they'll draft a defensive player in the first round.
Well, they might, because they just lost Rashawn Gary.
They're going to draft that or another quarterback, knowing them. I mean, that's just how they do things.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears pass them up in the division total standings at the end of the year.
Packers, you couldn't put more than 9 points on them. This is the first time they have not that somebody didn't put double digits on them. Heck, this is the first time somebody didn't put over 20 on them. I don't know what you do. Like, that's like, good God, like.
But the thing is they had plenty of opportunities. Like, I mean, how many goal line turnovers do they have? At least 2.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to say? It's just bad. Terrible time to be a Green Bay fan.
It's what they
Also,
get. They've had 2 generational quarterbacks. No, they can be bad for a bit.
I think what if I'm them, I'm gonna start fearing is also you have a potential of I said you aren't gonna win division, but it's not even just in winning division. You might be last in division. I thought you're definitely second. You might be. I mean, I don't think what happened, but you right now might be last with the way you're playing. Wondering, does Aaron really consider? You know what? Maybe I should have retired and just called it. There's a reason he wanted to leave or said he wanted to leave. We'll go into another game, another close one. This team pulls out another close one, and I mean, they're not playing great, but they keep winning, so that's what you sometimes just got to do. This is the Vikings over the Commanders. Vikings come to 7-1, 20-17.
You like that?
He was on the plane ride with a lot of ice on his neck, too.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, look at you trying to grow a personality.
He still looks like he did it in the plainest way possible still.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Vikings did what they have done. I mean, Kirk Cousins has been more his statistics are down this year because they've been more run and play defense, and then more sort of making him more of a game manager this year. And it's been working clearly 7-1. Still haven't beat anybody I consider to be a good team yet. Commanders may be one of the better teams they've beaten, which is not saying too much. So I still don't know how good this team is, and they still almost lost it. They would have lost this game if Heineke didn't throw that horrendous interception that brought the Vikings right back in this game. The Commanders were controlling the game at that point.
They beat the Cardinals last week.
Cardinals, so yeah. So Cardinals or Commanders, whichever one, probably the Cardinals would be better, but either way, both teams still aren't considered good. So I don't think the Vikings have beaten anybody of note yet. He was like, Match, we're Eagles fan. Yeah, well, guess what? The Eagles whooped the Vikings, okay? So
Whoop.
get off my back.
1,000 times hot. Playing at 1 o'clock and see what happens.
playing at 1 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah. And then we'll see who's better.
You just gotta win what you can, and I mean, I don't expect them. And with like we said before, the NFC's up for grabs. Besides the Eagles, the NFC is kind of up for grabs. So
right. Oh, and the funny play with this one. I mean, Heineke had his first touchdown. His first touchdown pass was one of the luckiest plays you ever see. Threw it in triple covers. The ref knocked one of the defenders out of the way, and then they scored a touchdown. He could throw the ball 100 more times. That would never happen.
It's just like how he drew it up.
We'll say Justin Jefferson still had 115 yards, 1 touchdown, 7 receptions.
Oh,
Doing work, but I mean, compared to Tyreek Hill, there's really just all receivers are deemed irrelevant.
They definitely featured the tight end more this week with that little trade for T.J. Hawkinson. He had 9 catches. Love to see it.
Yeah, it was a good move. He's solid. Let's go into another game. Just a battle of 2 struggling teams right now. It was the Raiders. The Raiders losing to the Jaguars, and my boy Etienne, 109 yards, 2 TDs, doing well since the trade. Devontae Adams, 146 yards, 2 TDs. This was, I mean, neither one of these teams are really making playoffs, but I think this was bad for the Raiders because now McDaniels,
He's trash.
there's a lot of questions because, this was your second coaching stint, and this is what people expected. Like,
Is it a race between him and Hackett to see who the worst coaching hire was this year? I mean, they seem to be neck and neck right now. I think they got the wrong idea of what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be improving the team, not seeing who can quickly destroy the team the fastest.
yeah.
So Trevor Lawrence did what he was supposed to do, play a good game.
Yep.
Clean game, didn't
Really
turn over
good.
the ball.
I was glad
They
to see
did
them finally
got-
win.
They finally got a win.
Finally went out there and hyping them up 4 weeks ago.
They're starting, the offense coming alive a little more.
But for the Raiders, it's official. No playoffs this year. Sorry, not happening.
Yeah, you're done. You're done, buddy. Better luck next year.
Can't win them all, or can't win.
In their case,
pretty much.
I would say 2-6. They're hardly winning any of them.
Yeah, so might be finding a new coach very soon. We'll go into our next game. It was the Seahawks once again winning, and this man Geno Smith is this team's just still rolling, going 6-3, beating the Cardinals, I mean, COD did come out, so we're not too surprised with the Cardinals losing, but
I mean, you saw Kyler Murray had a pretty bad fumble. He was all by himself running and fumbled the ball. I don't know. Maybe you got to concentrate. He wasn't concentrating on ball handling. He was thinking about COD.
I think his trigger fingers are getting very sore, so that's why
He was
lost his grip.
right, and he was also probably thinking about what kind of Call of Duty celebration can I do in the end zone.
Yeah, he's also probably thinking about like which map do I don't like, which map I like. You know.
Do you think he mains the SPR? Probably.
Absolutely.
Oh, 100%. Dude. You know he's
Yeah.
toxic as hell.
But I also think we're in agreement that Kingsbury's going to be the next coach fired. I think there's no doubt about it.
Him or Hackett.
Him or Hackett, yeah. Him or Hackett.
I think Hackett just gets
Hackett's
leeway
a
because it's
crutch
first
year
year.
coach, that's the
Exactly.
only thing.
Yeah, but
That's
the only thing
that's
about
gonna buy him
Hackett,
the year.
the only thing about Hackett is it's just been that bad.
I know it's
to
been,
where-
yeah. But forget the Cardinals. Let's talk about our man Geno Smith. I mean, another W, another solid performance, 2 touchdowns. He did have a pick, but who cares, baby? You get the W. Kenneth Walker, home run draft pick, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Actually, while your boy Jalen Hurts getting MVP love, it's time Geno gets that MVP love.
Talk about it. He ain't in Jalen's league right now, but yeah.
I didn't
the
want to go there,
MVP.
but now that Bobby went there, I agree, Bobby.
Yeah.
Dude, how crazy would it be if he actually did when he, I would be like, I have seen it all. I have seen it all.
Jalen Hurts wrote back, but Geno Smith didn't. So
Yep.
Yep. Geno
Who's
Smith
the
will
real
be
MVP?
telling you, I didn't write back. It still hasn't written back, man.
He is completing an absurd 73.1% of his passes,
Absurd.
Yeah, what's
Ridiculous.
Jalen Hurts completing? He ain't completing that big.
like 67 or something like that.
Bum.
Oh, pitiful.
Bum.
I'm going to take a moment to make a point to all teams out there, specifically the Packers. Who are the best quarterbacks right now? You got Geno
Lots of
Smith
good
playing well,
receivers.
has DK Metcalf and
Tyler
blanking on
Lockett.
his name. Lockett. Hurts, AJ Brown, and
amazing
Smith
when
also
getting
has
AJ Brown,
Goddard.
dude.
Tua, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. It's not that hard to figure out, guys. Great receiving cores, help quarterbacks. Just
Josh
throwing that out there.
Allen.
It's like some GMs think the idea is to have the best quarterback with the worst weapons. It seems like that's
Hey,
what Green
that's
Bay
fair
is thinking.
competition.
Not the worst, the cheapest.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, oh, he could turn anybody to a 1,000-yard receiver. Well, maybe not, and then maybe that 1,000-yard receiver would help him throw 30 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And maybe that puts to bed the argument that the quarterback makes the receivers because Aaron Rodgers is not making these receivers.
Well, I mean, look,
They can
there's
only make them so much.
right. You can only stretch it so far. Alan Lazard is at best a wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the quarterbacks that do it are what the Brady's and the Brady Manning. Yeah, those are 2 of the top 3
Yeah, 2 of the
quarterbacks of all
best of all
time. Like
time.
really,
Yeah,
that's what you're gonna hope you think you got.
Yeah.
Newsflash: most likely you don't have it. So stop putting it there. Like
Yep.
even I will always just say Mahomes when he came in, why I thought he was gonna be good. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, they both did really well with Alex Smith. He's probably going to do well too because he's got a great targets to throw to. Like, it's not hard sometimes to figure out people. It's just common sense. Sorry, that's the rant for the day. Let's go into the last game. A bit closer of a game. Pretty good game with Kansas City Chiefs just pulling it out versus the Tennessee Titans. It was a battle of 2 people, Patrick Mahomes and an MVP candidate. And I mean, if this team gets the playoffs,
He'll be up there. He
again,
won't want
I think
it.
he needs to be in a little conversation because clearly he's putting this team on his back and carrying it. Because they almost won with the quarterback completing 5 passes. Like, they almost beat the Chiefs.
Say his name. Say his name. King Henry.
Big Henry still doing work, still showing he's the best running back in the league, man.
I believe it's his 5th straight 100-yard game. He's just, absolutely killing it this year. If Ryan Tannehill played this game, I think the Titans probably would have won this game. And that's not saying Ryan Tannehill's that good, but Malik Willis just is not there yet as a passer, clearly. In the first 2 starts, he's just not there. So I think if Ryan Tannehill was there, they would have been more crisp on they would have been more of a threat at the end, especially to try to come back and win this game.
But to defend Malik Willis a little, it's not like he's got a great receiving core to throw to.
Well, no.
Yeah.
He's just not ready.
No.
Yeah,
No.
he's not ready.
The big props I gotta say is what impressed me is Patrick Mahomes. Not his throwing, because he threw for like 68 tries.
68
good
attempts.
Lord.
That's almost the
That's
record.
that's good. That's a lot of throws. I believe Drew Bledsoe has 70. He has the record. But I think it was his. We forget because he's such a talented thrower how good of a runner this guy is. He had the 3rd and 17 run. He had like that little juke move to get there, which that was like, I was surprised it didn't stop him. And then the one of his touchdown runs as well. His touchdown run, I thought he should have been stopped in another juke move. So, Mahomes just doing it all over the field.
Yeah, and so that Mahomes attempted the 3rd most pass attempts in a game. First is Drew Bledsoe 70, second Vinny Testaverde 69, then Mahomes 68 with a couple other people.
He completed the 4th most ever in the game.
Yeah, 43. I mean, yeah, then he led the team in rushing by far with 60 yards, and his closest had like 6 yards.
I will say, Mike Vrabel, kind of props out to you. You almost pulled it off with like your quarterback. Like, I feel he's one of those coaches that kind of just figures it out sometimes. Of like, yeah, I don't have the best team, but
He's a good coach.
Put enough together to figure it out. Yeah.
He owns the AFC South. Absolutely owns them.
They're more like gonna win division.
The only team that could really challenge them now, it depends on if the Texans get the first pick and how good the quarterback is going to be. But the only team that's really going to challenge them anytime soon will be Jacksonville, probably. I don't see the Colts doing it, not with their dysfunction.
Colts are pretty much done.
I will apologize, Vrabel, for doubting you and not having you win this division. I apologize. The last one we'll go through, we can't really go through the game because we're recording right now, is the Ravens are currently beating the Saints 14-3.
The Ravens are clearly the better team. So 14-3, and they're about almost in the red zone again. So this will be probably 21-3 coming up. Ravens will take a commanding lead in the division right now.
Yes, they will.
And the Saints will somehow still be in the playoff contention. Only one game out.
So right now, let's go ahead and just basically talk with who's definitely out of our playoff. Who's definitely out of playoffs right now.
I mean, how big of a lead do you want?
Rams, I think, are out.
Yeah,
I'll say out.
Green Bay, we're clearly done with them.
Yeah.
Arizona, I think's out. Atlanta's out because I think Tampa Bay's going to win this.
I don't think Atlanta's out with Tampa Bay playing that poorly. I don't think they're out.
Yeah, I'm not going to roll out yet.
Oh, and Max, you know what? New York Giants out.
Get them.
What do you mean?
Get them.
Out what? Yeah, they were out of playing last week because they were on bye. But
Let me see who your man's plays this week. They play Houston and Detroit next week. Y'all be straight. Y'all be all right.
So they'll have what, 8 wins then? Yeah.
Yeah, 8-2. Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Jets. The Jets are the 5, so I can count. I mean, I just don't know. Just find ways to win.
Can we count the Jets out? You can't count the Jets out.
Yeah.
No,
they're still in.
Yeah, the top 9 are good. Anything below the Bengals, they're out.
All right, so that puts it again for another episode of NFL Recaps. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Please hit the like, subscribe, and all of those buttons. And till next time, and may the discussions begin.